Welcome to the Awaken podcast. Today we have a very special guest all the way from Ukraine. His name is Pastor Gennadiy. He and his story are just very compelling. I hope you'll tune in for it. We're going to do a two-part series, actually. His English is a little bit challenging to listen to, but it's worth working through that. He talks about evacuating. He talks about having nightmares, things like that. So I hope that you'll stick with it and get the heart of what he's trying to say, because he talks about what life is like on the front lines. He's a chaplain in the Army. He talks about evacuating his orphans. He and his wife have an orphanage. He's also a pastor. So I hope that you'll tune in and be encouraged, because he talks about how to go through life's storms. Some of you know that our ministry has been working for several months now with Ukrainian refugees, both in Poland and Ukraine. And the reason we started working with Ukrainian refugees was because of my guest today, Pastor Gennadiy. It's so nice to have you here. It's really an honor for me to have you on this show. And I just want to say that, first off, I really love your people. I have so many Ukrainian friends now. And they're very dear to my heart, you know, and it really is very nice to have you here. And the reason why we got involved with Pastor Gennadiy is because you have an orphanage and a church, right?
Yeah.
And early on in February, we received a message asking us to pray, saying that they were evacuating, and it was very urgent. And so why don't you tell us about that? You have 100 orphans that you had to evacuate, right?
Yeah, we had biggest children rehab center in my church, in my city, Mariupol, East Ukraine. But when Russian army came, we had just 40 minutes, not 42, not 43. We had just 40 minutes for extremely quickly evacuate all children and women who stay with children, because Russian army blocked my city, block it all way, and it was like competition between my convoy with children and Russian tanks. It was like competition. I'm so happy because we won.
And it was really a miracle that you got out right in time.
It's real.
Right?
Very often when in my nightmare, just some days ago, I had that nightmare. I sleep in the night, and in my dream was like we don't did it, and children stay inside city, and Russian army block it and start killed people. And all night I try find a way for save children so often, and I wake up twice in the night and go to restroom for cold water on my head, but it doesn't work.
So it was really a miracle, though, that you got out. You got all 100 orphans out just in a matter of minutes before the Russians came, right?
little bit faster. So we was little bit faster than Russian tanks.
So some people ask me why didn't more Ukrainians evacuate? But you had very little notice, right? Like with you guys, you had 40 minutes.
Yeah, we had just 40 minutes. Some officer called me and tell Pastor Chaplain, I'm also chaplain in my army, and Pastor, you have just 40 minutes, and not more. And I'm so thankful for Jesus, because when Russia blocked my city, they start killed people inside. They start destroyed building by building, street by street, and they have had real genocide inside my city. They killed nearly 50,000 people inside my city, just inside my city. Many children, many women, many old people. And now they organize some camp. They call it filtration camp, but really this is concentration camp. They torture people there, they rape people there, they kill people there.
If they capture people, that's where they
and
put them.
This is 21st century Europe.
Do you know how many people are in the camps like that?
Nobody knows, but it's 1,000 people in different place.
So 50,000 people from Mariupol have died, and that's just one city alone. And then thousands more are probably in those camps, right?
Yeah.
From your city.
Yeah. It's crazy story. But it's not battle, it's not war about land, about language, about ethnic conflict. No, this is not about gas, this is about freedom. Russia now, it's like huge prison. No religion freedom, no mass media freedom, no political freedom. My country have freedom completely. We preach the gospel, absolutely freedom. We never had nothing like that. This is the best time in my history, in Ukrainian history, for freedom. And we will stop them. We push them out of my country. I'm sure about it, but we pay a huge price.
Yes, you sure have.
And I want to say thanks for you and for your team, because your ministry for refugee people, this is so important now. Millions, maybe 5, maybe 6, nobody know how many millions people was refugee. And so many families split, and husbands on front line, brothers on front, sons. I stay in front line almost all these 3 months. I stay in front line every day, under shooting, under mortars. I go to zero line, fire, we evacuate people, we help for soldier, we bring humanitarian food and medicine and get people from on the basement directly on the shooting. We evacuate many thousand people. And,
so let me just replay that. So he's a chaplain in the Army, and so what he does, if y'all didn't catch that, he goes and helps evacuate the wounded, different people that need evacuated out of the city to begin with, and they take food and water and supplies, vehicles, all kinds of things to the front line, right?
Yeah.
And you were saying you even have some of your sons that are
in
the Army on the front lines fighting, right?
Some of my sons, soldier now, they fighting right now, and it's why for me not so easy be here, because all my mind there with them, but some of my sons, they are my team, they are my chaplains, my volunteers, working every day in front line in so extremely dangerous places when every moment you have huge risk. But we serve for God and for people, and we go through this storm. But God is God, not just for good time. His power with us through all time, through all situation in our life. We feel it now in front line. We have crazy situation. Many friend of mine was killed through last 3 months. Many my good friends, church members was killed. One of my daughter was killed. She was amazing girl, and I can't evacuate her. We evacuate all youngest children, but we don't have possibility to evacuate my oldest adopted children, and many of them we evacuate later, but it was so late for her. Russian army killed her. And it's not easy to go through all of this. But we can do it. With Jesus, we can go through life, through last our days on this earth, through all kind of storm.
Okay, that's a really good word, and I'm glad you're sharing that, because so many people today have gone through so much hardship, especially Ukraine, but even around the world. There's a lot of loss with COVID, and right now there's a lot of economic hardship for people, and people have just experienced a lot of loss and a lot of hardship. So how do you personally handle that? Like, tell me a little bit about your relationship with God. How does He carry you through the tough times, through the storms?
When this storm came to my life, to my family, split my family now my family, like millions family from Ukraine, split for different place, different part of family. When this came to my life, it's time when you just can cry, not word, not you feel yourself completely destroyed, and all your life destroyed. Can you imagine inside my church, now Russian soldier. Inside my orphanage building, what we built this building many years, we just finished remodeling 1 year ago, and the Russian soldier came and stayed there. They sleep in my home. They sleep in my children's bed. My children dream about that. All people and you personal will go through storm. When storm came, we must be strong inside the storm and go through. And we must have hope. We will have good days later.
I hope that you were encouraged by that talk with Pastor Gennadiy like I was. I hope that you will be encouraged to hold God's hand through the storms of life and not give up, not give in. We're going to talk to him a little bit more. We're going to break this up, and next time we're going to talk about his orphans, how they got into that, and just the crazy life that they have with all these street kids. So I hope you'll tune in for that one as well.